The evening rested softly over Jerusalem when David rose from his chamber and walked upon the roof of his palace. Below him the city lay in quiet rhythm, its courtyards open to the fading light, and there within one such space he saw her. She was bathing, unaware, unguarded, moving with a natural ease that belonged to her own world. The light of dusk traced her form, not in concealment but in clarity. She was not distant, not a passing shadow. She was present, and in that moment his gaze did not move away. "Who is she?" he asked. The answer came with weight. She was Bathsheba, daughter of Eliam, wife of Uriah the Hittite, a man among his finest warriors away at battle. That knowledge did not restrain him. He sent messengers. They went into the city, into her house, and brought her to the palace. No words of persuasion are recorded, no dialogue preserved, only movement from her world into his. She stood before the king. Between them lay not distance, but power. He who commanded armies, who shaped the fate of nations, now fixed his will upon a single person, and she, drawn into that will, remained within the moment it created. The act itself is told without ornament. He lay with her. No poetry softens it, no narrative expands it. It happens and it ends, and just as quietly she returns, back to her house, back to the life that had been hers. The palace fades behind her, but not the consequence of what has occurred. Time passes in silence until it no longer can. A message is sent. "I am with child." The words reach David not as surprise, but as exposure. What had been contained now demands resolution. The king who had acted now begins to calculate. He sends for Uriah. The soldier returns from the battlefield, summoned into a scene he does not yet understand. David speaks to him with ease, almost warmth, urging him to go home, to rest, to be with his wife. But Uriah does not go. He sleeps at the entrance of the palace, among servants and guards. When questioned, his answer is simple. While his comrades remain in the field, he will not take comfort. His loyalty holds where the king's restraint had failed. David tries again, this time with wine, but even then Uriah does not return home. And so the king crosses a darker threshold. He writes a letter and seals it, placing it in Uriah's own hand. The command is clear: place him in the fiercest battle, then withdraw. Uriah carries his fate unknowingly. In the clash of war, the order is fulfilled. The lines shift, the soldiers fall back, and Uriah stands alone where danger is greatest. He dies not by chance but by design. Word returns to Jerusalem: Uriah is dead. David receives it with composed acceptance. War claims lives, he says. The sword does not choose, but this death was chosen. Bathsheba mourns. Her grief is real, defined by loss that cannot be undone. The man to whom she was bound, the life she knew, is gone. For a time, she remains in that space, neither in the palace nor fully apart from it. When the morning ends, David sends for her again, this time not in secrecy, but in resolution. She enters his house, not as one summoned for a moment, but as one who will remain. She becomes his wife, and thus what began in a quiet evening glance becomes something far larger. A union forged through desire, concealment and consequence, now set within the structure of kingship itself. The story pauses there, but its weight does not. Beyond this union lay grief and redemption, whispers and strategy, and a son whose name would echo through kingdoms. In the shadows of the court where kings rise and fall, she would not remain unseen, and when the time came she would step forward, not as a figure of circumstance, but as a force of destiny. That is a story yet to unfold.